thanks, man, for coming by.
Yeah, it's our pleasure, man. Happy to be here.
I'm reading some of your bio. You've been all over the place. Budapest, Ireland. Where are you from?
I'm from New York, actually.
You're from New York. What
Yeah.
part?
I grew up in Pelham, just north of the city.
In the Bronx. Okay, and so now, what draws you to this kind of music? Like, what makes you? I mean, how old are you?
26.
You're 26. So that music is not indicative. It's original compared to what you've grown up with. Electronic, hip hop, this, that, the other thing. How do you get drawn to this kind of sound?
I think our generation kind of grows up with everything.
Right.
I think we,
Well, it's true, actually. You're right, yeah.
I grew up with my parents' CD collection and record collection. Then by the time I was 14, I had all of that on an iPod, So I could put that on shuffle and I'd hear everything from 50s, 60s, 90s, 2000s.
That is a good point. Your generation, because of the way you deliver music, you can get all kinds from any era right there in your hand. Were your parents music buffs? Did they love music? Were they musicians themselves?
They're not musicians. My mother's... it's funny, my father was a drummer, but he's tone deaf, and my mother had no rhythm, but she played the piano beautifully.
No kidding. Wow, so something in the blood then.
Yeah, I got a little bit of both, I think. So.
And then what made you want to travel and start playing music? You said you played streets in Ireland and Budapest. Like, what made that happen?
Well, I've gotten to travel a little bit through music, through playing my own shows and playing with other people.
Right.
And then when I get to a place over there, I try to extend the plane ticket, hang out.
Yeah. Why not?
Exactly. When you're there,
that's what I've done with traveling.
Especially if someone else is paying for the plane ticket.
First time I went to Europe was on somebody else's dime to do stand-up, and I had some time afterwards, and I said, let me go to London and let's hang out in Paris and go to, I don't know, whatever.
Did you ever get deported, though, Artie?
Oh my God, no.
You got deported, right?
I did get deported.
A lot of bad things have happened. I've been thrown off planes. I've been arrested in Paris. I was arrested in Paris and did a couple of days in jail. I've been arrested several times here. I'm a convicted felon in the States. But no, deported is something that you got me there.
Well, I'm not a convicted felon, so you got me there. But I was just young and naive. I just graduated college. I worked 3 jobs all summer, saved a bunch of money, and my dream was always to take a guitar and travel through England, Scotland, Ireland, play on the streets, play in pubs.
Again, if you can, why not do it? It's really
exactly.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that you needed a work permit for that. So I showed up with a guitar.
Who would know that? I wouldn't know that. Would you have known you can't do that? I mean,
you don't in most countries.
Oh, okay.
And I just got the wrong guy on the wrong day, and he just duped me. He was like, "Oh, you're here. You got your guitar. That's
what
cute.
country?
You're gonna play." UK. It was in Heathrow.
Oh God.
So they
uptight bastards.
Yeah. Watch out, my bass player's British.
No, I'm kidding. We're in the States now. Don't worry about it. No, so what? So you get arrested?
I got pulled aside. I got stuck in the room where they put everyone. So there were guys with beards and turbans and who smelled like they hadn't showered in days. Probably because they haven't. Because some of these places where people get stuck off, there's a plane every 2 weeks. So if they miss their plane, it's literally they have to. I started talking to this girl.
2-week delay. It's not like missing the layover in Boston.
Yeah, exactly.
Going to Detroit.
This girl I was talking to was from an island off of Madagascar. What was it? I don't even remember what it's called. But Madagascar is an island off of Africa. She was from an island off of the island off of Africa.
It's called You're Screwed Island. You're not getting out island.
Yeah, exactly. And I was like, so when are you going home? She was like, well, the next flight is in a week and a half. And I was like, so I didn't have it that bad. They held me for about 12 hours and then sent me home.
Oh, okay. So you were officially deported.
I was deported.
Can you go back?
Actually, I don't know if I was deported because I was never let in. I think I was just rejected.
Yeah. You're like, they took a look at your teeth and your eyes, like being in Ellis Island.
They did fingerprint me.
Now, so are you allowed back in the UK?
I haven't tried. I've been back to Europe a bunch of times.
Give that a shot. It'll be fun. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, exactly. The funny thing is, the first time I went back to Europe to play, I flew through Italy, and I was super scared. And then everyone was like, "You're gonna have no problem, Italy. Italy's easy." And I was nervous because once you go through that, you don't want to go through that again.
It's scary as hell because you don't know what they could do to you.
Exactly.
I did stand up in Afghanistan with a crew of guys, and we were trying to leave Kandahar, and one of the federales or whatever you call them just said, one of the officials at the airport said, "You can't get on the plane." And there was no real exact reason.
Yeah.
And then the Marine who was in charge of us pulled the guy aside and said, look, sometimes this happens. Sometimes they don't like Americans or whatever. Like, they were just making up their own rules.
Yeah.
He has a powwow with the guy, and then the guy takes his other officials from the airport. They have a powwow, and the guy goes, okay, we can settle this for $35.
Right, exactly.
Okay, $35. Well, first of all, how'd they come up with that? Second of all, such a little amount of money. Third of all, it wasn't $35 each. There were 6 of us.
Right.
It was $35.
Right.
Like we each had to chip in. We had like 36 and
each.
change.
Yeah.
And the guy said, okay, and then let us through. I mean, that's Afghanistan. That's another level.
That
but
probably fed his village for a week. Though.
probably. Now, where do you meet these guys and how do you hook up with this band? You got a whole horn section here. You got a hot chick playing the sax.
I know.
That is
It's kind of
very
amazing.
nice.
I had to dig deep to find her.
Now, where'd you find these guys from?
It's kind of a hodgepodge. The drummer and I went to college together. We've been playing the longest together.
Okay.
And guitar player, I just met on a gig and loved his playing. Asked him to start playing in the band. Horn players, I just started. As soon as I started playing with horn players in New York, there's this whole legion of horn players in New York City.
Right.
And they all
I'm
know each
sure,
other.
yeah.
So, we've had like 15 players on the gig at this point. But, these guys are all friends, and it's an honor to play with them. So, I think it's New York City, so you can always find fantastic musicians any night of the week.
Absolutely, because you trip over them literally on the
Right.
street.
I saw that you have 10 years of experience of playing.
Yeah, I started playing in clubs when I was 16 in New York, so
Wow.
26.
Now, do you have a cabaret license? They still do that? Or is they still do cabaret license stuff? Is that a...
You have to have a cabaret
Right.
license. I mean, I don't need one, but
You don't need one.
these
Why is
places
that?
do. It's for the clubs. Clubs
Oh,
need a
okay,
cabaret
all right.
license. Like
Okay.
you can't play music in a place that doesn't have
I'm
a
asking
cabaret
like you're Charlie Parker or something. I'm just
Yeah.
trying to sound like I know what I'm talking about.
Another thing that I saw, what is tabla, and how did you study that in India?
I was over there actually studying for about 6 months, and I found a guru. No joke. I went 3 days a week. I would like touch his feet, touch my head, play tabla for like
No
3
kidding.
hours.
What is
a day.
tabla? I don't
It's
even.
those little drum. It's 2 drums. It's a dwing tick tick dwing dwing. You know that sound?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I know what you're talking
It's
about.
that.
You're the musician, John. You don't know? You never heard of a
I
tabla?
know. No.
Well,
sorry.
get with it.
I should. I'm learning now.
Okay, calm down.
Yeah. So the guru, there's a tabla guru that you.
It sounds like you're just curious and you're doing whatever you can at a young age.
That's kind of
to
it.
learn.
Yeah.
I mean,
Packing a lot of
that's
life in
amazing.
there.
I'm just
Yeah.
restless, man.
It
I
is a
just-
lot of living.
Just want to get out
You're
there.
a restless soul.
Exactly.
A lot of artists are. I mean, and if you land on something, you're like, who are your influences? I know it's kind of a cliche question, but I love asking musicians that because I'm interested in the answer. I think a lot of people are. Who are your influences?
It's like I said before. I have my iPod is super big, but I think when you go back to kind of those formative years of like early teens, I think most of us would agree that's kind of like when your deepest roots are being set.
I think so. Yeah, 12, 13 years
Yeah.
old. What albums you were listening to at that point?
And what I was listening to in like 7th grade was I was listening to Jay-Z, I was listening to Jamiroquai, I was listening to West Side Story, and I was listening to Stevie Wonder.
Well, because it's funny. You were 13 in the year 2000. That's just hitting my. I was 33. And you were in the year 2000. Well, Stevie Wonder in the 70s that's about as good as music gets. Man.
I totally agree.
His music in the 1970s, Stevie Wonder, just unreal.
That's the benchmark.
Yeah. And I saw a guy who plays keyboard. I'm sure that's
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what about hip hop? Do you get into that? I mean, that's probably the most
I do.
dominant type of sound from your generation. Do you get into that at all?
I do, absolutely, but I actually find myself mostly gravitating to the stuff that I was too young to get into, like Tribe Called Quest or Wu-Tang Clan. Or
I love a
early
Tribe
Nas.
Called Quest.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
1992 to 94, that's kind of all I need.
Right.
I mean, I like some hip-hop coming out today. I like Kanye West. I like some of what's coming up, but mostly I gravitate towards that earlier stuff.
1989, all up in your face. Buddy, all up. I thought I had it. I thought I had a Tribe Called Quest. All right, well, listen, man. Great stuff. Come back and join us anytime, man.
Thanks.
Again, it's the Nat Osborn Band. We heard songs Fire in the Wind and No Reason off the album The King and the Clown. That's a new album that's out now, I guess?
Just came out a month ago. It's on iTunes, Amazon,
that's
all
your-
of that.
That's your first full length.
That's the debut full-length record.
Nat Osborn. And introduce everybody in the band real quick.
Lauren Sevian on the baritone sax over there.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's Dan Linden. Yeah. Dan Linden on the trombone.
Nice.
Cody Rollins on the trumpet.
Nice.
Zach Nacita on the drums.
Oh, that.
Ruben Kaner on the bass.
Nice.
We got Adam Magatti on the guitar.
Nice, Adam. Great.
right.
You guys are great. So NatOsbornBand.com, that type of thing, at Nat Osborn Band. all that stuff.
It's natosborn.com, facebook.com/Nat Osborn Music, and Twitter handle is at Nat Osborn.
Awesome. Well, much luck and good fortune, you guys. And
Thanks so
again,
much.
please come back if you can. The Nat Osborn Band. We'll be back with the rest of the Artie Lange Show right after these words.